I'm Chef Simon Maple with Welbilt, and this, my esteemed colleague,
Kevin Kelly. And we're going to take some time to talk about the Garland MCO convection ovens. As everyone knows, Garland has been a leader in convection ovens for years. You see them in institutions, schools, kiosks, kitchens, small kitchens. But through the years, we've done so many changes. We made it user-friendly, user-smart, trying to give you more capacity. And we're going to take about 10-15 minutes to point out some of the features. Just looking at the outside of the unit, it's true stainless steel. But one of the things we realized, and this was feedback from voice of the customer chefs, they like the wider handle, a wider cool touch handle. And that's because most chefs will walk through a kitchen with a tray and then grab the handle. They want to make sure that it's, no matter where they grab it, it's cool, and that it's a large handle that they can quickly grab and not worry about burning their hands. Inside the unit, we're 24-inch cooking height. Now, you may say, well, what difference does that make? But 24 cooking heights, considering the standard is 20 inches, we give you now 20% more cooking capabilities. We can't say it enough. The most expensive area in any restaurant is under the hood. And what were we talking about yesterday? How much?
A 10 by 10 hood costs $10,000, so about $1,000 a square foot, depending upon what you're looking at. So
which is crazy. So that being the case, you want to fit as much equipment underneath that hood and get as much production out from underneath that hood that you can. So when you go with Garland, we're giving you 20% more capacity. We're giving you 6.
What's that?
Okay, another great feature, and we'll explain in a minute, is you worried about your employees, that they're going to leave the door open when you're cooking? It's going to tell them to close the door. So that was just an alarm to tell the chef, to cook, who's ever near the oven, to shut the door. And you may hear that go off a couple of times as I talk about the inside.
Well, and the reason you want that is because you want that door to be shut, because you want to save that consistent temperature inside. You know, these ovens are multi-versatile. You can use a lot of stuff, and they're really good at stuff, but the door has to be shut in order for it to work right, to get that consistent product, you get that consistent food. So this is a feature Garland has implemented so that you can keep that consistent product, and also it'll run your electric bill or gas bill way through the roof if it stays open all the time.
Keeps the employees in line. Even as a bake. I mean, Chef said it just now. Once we went to a higher cooking chamber, we use a system called a serpentine system, and it's a series of tubes on the side that brings your heat inside your oven up to about halfway, 2/3 up. Now remember, heat rises. And why do we do that? Why do we only bring the gas up to about here? Well, naturally gas rises, so if it rises by itself, it will balance the heat on your top rack to the heat on your bottom rack. So when we say 6 racks, we say you can cook on all 6 racks.
So top to bottom, left to right, front to back?
You know, funny, front to back. One of the common questions I get is, why isn't the back panel porcelainized?
Okay. Why isn't it?
All right, because this portion, the doors are stainless steel. So it balances the color. Now, porcelainized interiors, dark colors, absorb heat. So if that was dark in the back or porcelain, it may actually absorb too much heat and offset from the front. So by doing this, we're actually balancing the inside heat control.
So an even cookability front to back.
Even capability, and that's the objective with any convection oven. So right off the bat, 20% more baking capability, even baking. Coved corners for cleaning. It doesn't sound like much, but if you have a convection oven that has square corners on the inside, those square corners are going to get clogged up with dirt, with crud, with grease, and then you're relying on somebody to go in there and scrape it and clean it out. So with the coved corners, at the end of the night, they just go in with a rag, they wipe it out, wipe off the bottom, they're good to go.
And again, we talked about this, we've talked about this, we're going to talk about this, and everybody else is going to talk about this, and everybody you've seen is going to talk about this. The easier it is to clean, the more likely your employees will clean it. That's just a fact. There's the door alarm again.
So the versatility of the oven, but one of the problems with any cooking equipment are the doors. The doors are the most abused part of any cooking equipment. And you probably see...
Wait, you're telling me kitchen equipment gets abused?
Yeah, the doors are the worst. And you've probably seen it in restaurants, and you've been working your whole life. People will stand on oven doors, range doors, to clean a hood. The convection oven doors, They'll be used in and out 100 times a day. 100 times a day. Constantly, in, out. So we upgraded the chain mechanism on the bottom. We upgraded the gears and the sprockets on top. So we realized we probably now have the best door in the industry. So we're supporting it with a 5-year door warranty.
5-year door.
Now remember, the glass isn't, because the number one breakage of glass, and then they do this. So always make sure your racks are in. Not that they would ever do it in your kitchen, chef.
No, nobody's ever broken anything in any of the kitchens I ran.
But we support it with a 5-year door warranty.
So the great thing about the doors is you know, the ovens are so versatile and they work so well and they have so many purposes. You know, you might have it during the daytime, and in the morning and in the afternoon it might be your prep time. That might be when you're doing your prep work, might be doing your meats, you're doing stuff like that. But at dinner time, this might become a finishing oven.
Right.
This might be something where you would keep skillets in if you had a Mexican style restaurant, or if you were doing a finished bake on something or a cheese melt on something.
Yep.
So, and you're turning this oven up to high temperatures. In that situation, this door is going to be opened every 30 seconds, every minute. So you want to make sure that this door is durable and can stand up to that abuse. I mean, I've worked in restaurants that have done 500 covers in a night, you know, 600 covers in a night, and on that type of business, you need to have a sturdy piece of appliance that can actually stand up to that abuse.
And this is a 60/40 door.
Yep.
So if you notice, it's all, so this side with the handle is taking all the weight.
Yep.
So that's why we can give that 5-year door warranty. And Chef brought up a good point. What happens if it is a finishing oven? And I'm in and out. Well, the more you open that door, you literally suck the gas out and you want it to recoup quicker. So what we do is we offer standard BTUs are 60,000,
Yep.
which is excellent. But if you're using it for a finishing oven, ask your customers, what are you cooking in? Is it a finishing? Are you going to be in and out? Consider going to 80,000 BTUs, no charge option. We just have to do it at the factory before it ships.
That's a good point. You know, you definitely need to make sure that when you're doing this, and with any of our equipment, you know, you really need to understand our customer needs, because there's nothing worse than somebody getting something and they're not using it to their fullest capacity for any of our equipment, anything across the line. So let's talk about the new controller.
As you saw earlier on our presentation about our Easy Touch controllers, Garland looked at it and said, hey, can we incorporate this? What great features can we do? I think one of the features you just saw was it now tells you, which we've never had before, that the doors are open. And remember, if that door's open, heat's coming out, it's heating the kitchen, it's going up through the hood.
So as we can go through here, we can adjust several things. First of all, we can adjust our temperature. So right now it's off. The oven's in a showroom mode, but we can adjust it to whatever we need to do. So as you can see right here next to it, the oven temperature. See how it's still grayed out. The oven won't let you engage something until you turn the fan on. You have to pick a fan speed, which we have 2 fan speeds with this one. So once we pick a fan speed, you'll see that the temperature turns white. So that means that the oven, and you can see the lines here to the left of it, that means the oven is calling for heat and it's going to heat up. We're in the middle of a showroom right now, so it's not actually going to raise temperature. We don't actually have any gas or electric to it, but we're showing the features. Another great feature of this oven is we can easily come over here and we can engage the internal light. So if we're looking in there.
That brought up a good point. Look where our lights are located. They're located in front of the oven. They're lighting up the product when the door's closed. A lot of manufacturers put them in the back. Excuse me for putting in, but that's a great point.
Anything I miss, jump in and cut me off. I got no problem. I'm married. I know what it's like, right? So we can turn the lights on and off very easily from here, and you can see inside the oven. The oven cavity is well illuminated. You can see everything that's in there. So if you're doing more of a manual cook mode, if you weren't using timers, you were just kind of watching the oven, you were kind of doing that. Maybe if you're doing R&D and you had to see how long that actual thing takes, you can go in there and you can easily check it. You get the button to work. So we can go down here in our home feed. We're going to save that recipe. And you can see here we have some preset icons right here. So we can go in here and we can change any one of these preset icons. We can change the thing. We can also change the color. You can see all the different colors depending upon if you wanted a rare or medium well. We can have the different icons for the different food. And you can see we could have the well done being black, because whoever eats any type of roast beef, well done, doesn't make sense. Rare, so we can go through and use these different icons. We can also save that icon. Now our recipe is saved into the back.
simplicity.
Simplicity. We can go in here, we can go to an eco mode to where this oven goes down and goes into a lower temperature. So think about your air conditioning at your house, right? You don't go leave your house and turn the air conditioner up to 90 or turn it off because it's inefficient for your house. You turn it up to like 80 degrees or 82 degrees depending upon what you're doing. And then when you come home, you turn it back down to 72. The eco mode is the same way. It doesn't actually shut the oven off, but it brings the temperature down in a quiet point when you're maybe not doing it. Maybe at like from 3 to 5 when you're not using the oven, and then you at 5 o'clock you hit the button and it becomes your finishing oven. So it's not pulling all that gas and not pulling all that electricity.
And that has a cook and hold capability in that control?
So we can go in here and we can set a time for cook and hold capability. So it's going to count down to here, and then we have our cook timer down here, which we can set.
And it'll start counting up.
Yep.
Shows you how long. Now, one of the features someone asked, which is a great feature, a probe temperature.
Yes.
Say you're doing a prime rib, and interior temperature of a prime rib perfect should be
125 to 130.
So say 125, 130. You set your program for 125, 130, stick it in the prime rib, and stick it in the probes inside the oven. When it reaches temperature, the oven will shut down and then go to a holding mode.
Yep. So, I mean, it's a great point. I mean, prime ribs, all cows are made differently, right? Everything's not exactly the same. So you get a case of prime ribs in, and you could have anywhere from a 10-pound prime rib to a 15-pound prime rib.
Right.
So with those settings, you want that food to cook the same, depending upon the size, different moisture content, different fat content, blah, 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 all of that stuff. But with the probe temperature, 125 is 125.
No matter what.
Is 125. No matter how big, no matter moisture content, no matter fat content, and the oven will know that. And it's the genius of the oven that will allow that to work that way and to where the food is cooked exactly the same way. Because the biggest thing with your customers is consistency. They've had the prime rib last week, and it was great, and they want to come back and get that prime rib.
And it's overcooked, or they're going to be upset.
And you're not relying on your chefs to do it. And if you have to get pulled away, or if an order comes in or something like that, the oven does it all on its own.
As I was saying earlier, we spoke, I can't say enough about how expensive underneath the hood is. So we have, everyone knows the Wilbo Combo Therm. We have the capability of putting a convection on top of a combi oven. And we offer what we call a bridge stand, because we're trying to fit, again, as much equipment underneath that hood as we can. So what we do is we put on a bridge stand, slide the combi underneath, and then you can do what? You can steam, you can combi, you can dry bake.
Well, don't take away that. That's a whole other presentation coming up here in a little while. Don't take away from them.
All right, I won't do any of the combi presentations.
So let's take like 1 or 2 questions real quick in our last minute.
Okay, why do I need these controls since my old controls were fine?
It's the same thing. I mean, we've talked about it on Lincoln. We're going to talk about it all day. It's just ease of use. It makes it easier to use. People use their cell phones, or people who use these things, it just makes the oven easier. You can pre-program recipes so that people don't have to chef it up, so to speak. You can, as the chef or as the executive chef, come in, develop those recipes, develop those timings, and then your line level employees can just come in, press a button, stick food in the oven. It makes it really easy.
One of the things there too, Chef, is that with the old button to change temperature, or the knobs, if they wiped it down during the day, what would happen? So if we zoom in on the control, you'll see what happens, that if someone happens to be cleaning the controller during a cook cycle, it's got a 7-second clean button. They would just hit the little clean button, and it's back. So do that again real quick. Hit the clean button. Yep. Now he can wipe down that controller and not change anything within the chamber. Again, I don't know of any other manufacturer. So we're giving you a 5-year door warranty, 2-year parts and labor warranty. We have a school warranty. We back it up with the warranty. We got 20% more cooking capability. We got, cool touch handles. It's a leader in the industry. We made some great changes. Chefs love it. You'll love it. It comes in natural, propane, and electric. Single or double stack.
So we'd like to thank you guys.